Hey everyone. So today I want to discuss with you. In last video, we have seen the demo that how we are handling context passing. That means if you are changing the model, if you are switching between the model, you don't have to provide, you don't have to explain the whole context again and again. AetherExec is handling for you, and you can check out in this video number 5 in our profile. Now, for example, that is not the only issue. There are other multiple issues also we are facing, and whoever is integrating AI into their day-to-day programs, they definitely know about it. So let's discuss. For example, you have seen that you are using chatgpt from a long time, or maybe Gemini from a long time. You have this longer chat has grown so longer that even now it takes some time to load on your browser. That is not the only issue. The chat has n number of conversations from maybe last year or something, and it has grown so bigger. That means it is using that much of tokens. Now token, I mean to say, if you are just asking how are you, those characters will be calculated into the token. For example, how are you is using 4 or 5 number of tokens, 4 or 5 tokens. So you can think like this whole conversation, including your prompts and the response, how much tokens will be there in the conversation. And you are writing a prompt right now, it will try to add the whole previous conversation as well, just because LLMs don't have a long-term memory, right? So you need to remind those models that whatever the previous conversation is, and this is the new prompt, so in order it can give you a accurate response. But those conventional interfaces of the ChatGPT and Claude, they are bound to they are bound to handle it in certain ways. For example, particular models have a limit that it can only accept this amount of tokens at a time. For example, 124k or maybe 200k, depending on model. So how those interfaces handle them is, once your chat grows bigger and bigger, it will try to truncate or remove the older conversation, thinking that it will not be in use. Now either they will remove it completely, or either they will summarize it. Okay, summarize in a way is, if for example there is a code in your older conversation, so it will not send the whole code. It will try to summarize like what your code do in 2 or 3 lines, instead of adding the whole 50 line of a code. So that's what it will try to do and save your tokens. Now if your current prompt require reference to that summarized part of the conversation, then what your model will think is, your model will not have the whole code. Instead it will have a definition or summary. Then your model will try to think how your code would look like based on that summary. That's what we call hallucination. Your model will hallucinate, and then it will provide a response based on that, and response will not be that accurate. So that's the one problem. One is creating hallucination. Second thing is, every time you prompt, it adds the whole conversations. Apart from maybe let's say you have 50 conversations, like request and responses, and all 50 of them are not required along with your current prompt. Still those conventional interfaces will add all of them just in case, right? Now every time you are prompting, your chat gets bigger, and your using your context also gets bigger and bigger. So you will be using your free amount of tokens really sooner. So that's the second problem. So now these two problems we are solving through AetherExec really smartly. Stay tuned to see the demo in the next week. One, we have already solved how you can switch model without re-explaining the context. Second, we are about to solve how you can handle those contexts that your model will not hallucinate. You can still keep the originality, the authenticity of your conversation. Second, how you can save the context, how you can save the tokens, still keeping your each and every conversation as intact as it is. Sure, stay tuned.